guys, good morning. I had to do a special episode this week. Just like you guys, I'm sure you follow and you keep up on politics, and I have been too. And there's something that we got to talk about. I mean, this is just so gosh dang important. We are really focusing right now on world conflicts is kind of what we're doing. The reason we're focusing on world conflicts is because most Americans don't think about conflicts outside of the United States. Indeed, it's true that the progressive liberal Democrat Party in America is an incredible problem. What we're seeing domestically, however, is that this odd sect of conservatives is also a problem. What do I mean by odd sect of conservatives? I am talking people like Tucker Carlson. I'm talking people like Candace Owens, maybe Megyn Kelly, and for sure people like Dave Smith. These guys are a problem for the Conservative Party because they fracture it, and they ruin the momentum of the party as a whole. Now, here's the reality. Dave Smith is not a conservative, and he's open about that. Candace Owens is a conservative. She is a different sect of conservative. Then you have Megyn Kelly, and she is a conservative, but she would fit in that camp with more so Candace Owens. Tucker Carlson used to be a conservative, but let's not lie, we all know that Tucker Carlson is not a conservative. There's a lot that goes into this, and it's really important that you figure out for yourself what kind of conservative you are, what kind of conservative you're gonna be. But here's really the way to look at it. If you don't plan to vote for the Democrats or the progressive liberals, then you ought to make sure that the conservative Republican Party is not losing momentum. What I mean is that we shouldn't, argue amongst each other. We should have disagreements. It's a positive thing to have disagreements within the group as a whole. That's how we grow. That's how we show that we're not a hive mind like a certain other party. We should have those disagreements. However, at the end of the day, what has to happen is we all have to win. We actually have to win elections. We actually have to pass bills, and we actually have to make the economy better for the average American. So, the next time you're watching Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson go at each other, you ought to think, is this progressing the party? Is this progressing us towards a victory? If the answer is no, then maybe those people are in the wrong. Maybe that's the case. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with critiques and with disagreements, but at the end of the day, we do have to win. That's the reality. Now, there's people like Nick Fuentes who have come out and just said straight up that I don't want to quote him, watch his stuff for yourself or Google it. But what I understood is it sounds like Nick Fuentes is saying that he would rather just vote for Democrats. He's done with the Conservative Party. Kind of sounds to me like Tucker Carlson would rather just vote for Democrats, and he's just done with the Conservative Party. If there is no scenario I can think of in which I would vote for a Democrat. It's not because I am a hard party line person. I have major disagreements with the Conservative Party. And I would like to see some more social programs or policies implemented into our society. But I do want to progress towards victory. I do want to win the midterms, and I do want another Republican president. I will not vote for a group of people who abort over, 2 million babies a year. I will not vote for that group of people. There's no way. There's no way. I will not vote for the group of people who think that it is appropriate that if my wife cheats on me, that she should take my child and demand alimony. I will not vote for that group of people. And yeah, your head's already spinning and you're thinking, well, he's unfairly attributing certain ideologies or certain social contagions onto the... No. That's where this shit comes from. These things, like no default divorces and stuff, they come from a progressive kind of liberal mindset. You don't get that out of conservatives because we all know that that's absolutely ridiculous, it's unfair, and it's not right. We all know where it's coming from. I refuse to vote for people like that. I refuse to vote for people who do not have the capability to create a strong military for the survival of my children and my family. I will not vote for those people. I've seen how they handle conflicts in the Middle East. I've seen how they've handled conflicts in the past. And I've seen how Donald Trump handles it. Even if you think Donald Trump shouldn't have gotten into the war, the way that Donald Trump fought the war in the Middle East was incredible. It was amazing to see. Sheer strength and resolve. Not enough, but sheer strength and resolve. Not enough to finish the mission. Not enough to do what we needed to do if we were going to go ahead and spend that money. But enough to make sure that we practically lost almost no troops. RIP to the troops that we did. We respect our veterans. Those lives shouldn't have been lost. I didn't want those lives lost, and you didn't want those lives lost. But you know what? Donald Trump and his department, they put in a lot of effort and a lot of work to make sure that those things did not happen. We even rescued a man who had gone down, evaded enemy capture in enemy territory. We went through the efforts to make sure that we brought him home. Joe Biden pulled out of freaking Afghanistan and abandoned our allies. And who knows how many other people he abandoned. I will not vote for a party who does not demand better. Like I said, I have a lot of disagreements with the Republican and the conservative group. There's a lot of things that I want to see. I want to see metal detectors in public schools. I want to see those. When I walk into a you know what? I shouldn't even be walking into a public school without my ID being checked and without walking through a metal detector. I should not be able to walk in and take the lives of 10 to 20 children within a given day just because I was having a bad day. I shouldn't have that capability, and neither should you. I refuse to vote for the Democratic Party. And I'm going to argue here that if you're even entertaining the idea of casting votes for someone like Kamala Harris, someone like freaking Joe Biden, I don't know, who do we got nowadays? Pete Buttigieg? I don't know. Who's running? The New York guy. What's his gosh dang name? Mamdani? Or the California guy, Gavin Newsom. If you call yourself a conservative or a Republican, and you're even entertaining the thought of voting for anyone in the Democratic Party, anyone, you've lost your freaking mind, and you are not a conservative. You're not going to be conserving anything. Those guys will tear up everything that you believe. They will spit in the face of your ideologies. They will trans your freaking kids. They will. And they will continue to make the society a freaking degenerate society. That's what they will do. So stop playing stupid games and acting as if voting for Democrats is a good idea and something that we should be doing. It's not something that we should be doing. It's not. Everyone wants to say today that this kind of rhetoric is divisive. I hate to break it to you, but we are divided. We no longer, as human beings, agree on who is human, when they are human, and what you can do to them if you disagree on the first two. We don't agree on that anymore. Can't you see the problem? We're far past that. We are a divided people. I would never expect a progressive liberal to vote for a conservative. We represent the conservation of traditions, the nuclear family, marriages, masculinity, actually winning wars, freedom, free speech. That's what we're conserving. That's what we're about. So I don't expect a progressive liberal to ever vote for a Republican because we are divided. We are divided. They're concerned that if Republicans or conservatives come in control, more hate is going to spread to the LGBTQ community. That women are going to lose bodily autonomy rights. Women will no longer be able to just willy-nilly have abortions. There are so many reasons I understand why progressive liberals will not vote for a conservative. And you should understand as well. I want you to think about it. If you are a progressive liberal and you're watching this, why in the world would you vote for a conservative? If you're a Republican conservative, why in the world would you vote for a Democrat? Think to yourself, if you have a moment and you say, I am a Republican and I will be voting for the Democrats, tell me why. If you're a progressive liberal and you will be voting for the Republicans, tell me why. Now, of course, I'm impartial. Is that the right word? Yeah. I think that it is more likely for a liberal to vote for a conservative because I think that conservatives are based in reality. They're very realistic. That's also why so many hardline progressive liberals will not be voting for Republican conservatives. They're a little bit too based in reality. And you know what? Reality kind of sucks. It can be a little bit painful. It can be pretty dang uncomfortable. I want you guys to think about some of those things. Your votes matter. The people who you vote for actually matters. If you think that all is lost and there's nothing that you can do because you're just gonna elect people and they're gonna do whatever they want to do, the people that you elect are people that are raised amongst a society with your similar values. They go through our education system. They play with people who we might have known. That's their social groups. They're under the same laws as we are. Now the difference might be when they come up there, they make a little bit more money. They have more reason to fall off. They have more reason to fall into temptation. We get that. That's perfectly understandable. But the people that are elected, the people you see standing in Congress, they are a reflection of the condition of this society's heart. That's what they are. They are a reflection of the condition of this society's heart. If you look at them and you see liars and cheaters, you see killers, look no further than your own heart and ponder to yourself, how in the world did I take part in this? Now, for the young generation, you're lucky. You're not yet responsible for who you see in Congress. But if you're voting the same and you're using the same rhetoric, then you're going to have the exact same problem, and you are no better, and the likelihood that you are better is pretty freaking unlikely. You're thinking right now, oh my gosh, dude, this guy is always so gosh dang negative. I'm negative because I'm talking to a bunch of sheep. You see what I'm saying? Now don't get offended. Don't get mad. Take it on the chin. Because you don't have to be a sheep. If you are. I'm not saying you are. But the likelihood that you are is likely. You don't have to be a sheep. You don't have to be a victim. But you're more of a sheep and less of a victim. Because you freaking know better. You have history books. You have Google Scholar. You have educational institutions. You have everything that you need to know what decisions you got to make. And you just keep making dumbass decisions. So, you're a sheep. You wish you were a victim, but you're not. You're a sheep.